All right.
Thanks for coming, Chantel. What we'd like to have you do is just run through any changes in your budget, hit your highlights, and we'll all have questions for you if needed, kind of throughout and at the end.
Perfect. So Chantel with Indigent. There were no increases with the exception of education. And with the changing climate in the past, most education was through Zoom, and I did try to find all education in the past free. However, they're not necessarily being offered for continuing education, which is required for my licensure, as it was in the past. And so I did increase that to what it was originally in 2022. And so that is what I have requested for this year, is back to $700 for that, just to ensure. I don't anticipate that we will spend the $700 for that, but just to ensure that that is there. However, with cutting the other line items, it should still be below what we had for 2022 and 2023 fiscal year. So the operating supply, we went from $500 to $50. With the changes in Indigent, we try to do almost everything through record requests digitally, as much and as best we can. So the operating supplies we have went from $500 to $50. We took away any lunch or hostess line items, so that is $0 for that. We do have $100. We kept the same for any maintenance or office equipment, so that was left the same. For postage, we have put that down to $500. Not necessarily needing that almost at all, as we're not sending out any of the notifications in regards to cases being approved like we have been in the past. Since we're only dealing with cremation applications at this time, that has definitely decreased compared to what it has been in the past. So we cut that in half, from $1,000 to $500. Travel, there is no required travel, so that is a $0 line item for that. We did talk about education. Telephone, that is something that is set through the auditor's office, so that has remained the same at $850. The lease and copier equipment has remained the same, as well as medical reviews. That is at $0. That's not required any longer for the Indigent program. Contract labor, that is remain at $8,000. That is for sending out all of our invoices to those who have open cases through the Indigent program in order for them to repay for the cases that have been approved. And so we send that so that they can send our invoices out for us in order for those bills to come back to us in repayment of those cases. So that is a really quick overview of our A budget. In regards to our B budget, I have kept everything exactly the same as it was for fiscal year 23. In regards to those agencies which have come in and that have presented for their asks for 23 and what we had set that at for the budget in 2023. So there is no increase in regards to that.
So one item that I do want to bring up to the board is community guardians. I believe there was a discussion that they're having a change with the secretary. That wage is built into this $8,500.
Okay.
So maybe when we do...
You mean contract labor or what?
No, if you look down at line 59921, that's community guardians.
On the next page, 57.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, next page. That covers the donation that we give community guardians, but it also covers the secretary position that we cover. In some counties, that is a county department. We just basically contribute and assist them in that function. So I didn't know if you wanted to visit about that secretary position.
I think that we probably need to put a little extra in there. I think
Right now, we pay
500
500 a month.
and they was talking about 700,
Okay.
750.
750 is that what it was?
Yeah. I agree. I think we should do that.
That's another board that
Mm-hmm.
just amazes me. They volunteer a lot of time and stuff. And for somebody to be paid to take care of a lot of the paperwork and stuff is vital. But we also had that conversation about moving that in-house.
Yeah. And
Would that be an existing employee?
mhm.
Yeah, that's what I was,
so that's something we could talk about, and I have talked with Chantel about that. And she could do it.
she would be phenomenal at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like we talked about others. I don't expect it just to add more work. I mean, I just, compensation needs to be, so as we're talking about these funds, where could they be moved to and stuff to compensate for those things, so.
So how about this, well, what do you think? So as we prepare and get ready for the clerk's recommendation, do you want me to just talk with Chantel about that a little bit more and see if that's something we want to do? And we'll just propose it that way? And we'll talk more about it as we get there, but, I mean, would you lean that way? I would kind of lean that direction
I'm
personally.
comfortable that way because your duties are kind of going down a little bit with
Mhm.
some of the stuff that's going on. So if we can do that to help fill your time and give you, I'm comfortable with that.
So am I, you know,
Minus
I've
the public
attended
records
the,
requests.
I've attended the
That's
board
what I
of
was gonna
guardians
say. Those
meetings
are
and
going
stuff, and understand parts of what they do and stuff, and there wouldn't be a more ideal individual than
Mhm.
Chantel to step in there and attend those meetings and help and keep that program very much.
Have you attended any of those meetings?
I have not yet
Okay.
attended any of those meetings.
Okay, well, we'll chat about it a little bit, and as we move forward over the next few weeks, we'll.
So the monies would be in the budget,
Yeah,
but what direction we go was
yeah,
the
and
question.
we can chat about that.
So we'll potentially put a $3,000 increase, as if we were to outsource the secretary position, and then depending on what we end up doing, we might drop it back down to $2,500 donation
Mhm.
if we pick it up in-house, the secretary.
The one line item that is not in there is the Hope and Recovery Center, or
I'm sorry, what was that?
the one line item that has previously been in there, but was taken out for fiscal year 2023 and is at a zero for this year. And I do know that they came in and presented is the Center for Hope South, and so I wanted to draw that to your attention as well because it does have a zero.
And the other thing along that line, and I brought it up earlier, is when we talked with the grant that Woodcourt gets. They give $7,500 to that, which I consider county funds. So that's an area that I'm not sure where I want to go with that.
Because aren't those billable services that they provide?
So I do know that Recovery Support Services, it is my understanding that it is on the Medicaid fee schedule. And so if they are seeing the Medicaid clients, there is potential for billable services in regards to that if a client has Medicaid. So that's something that could potentially be a revenue source.
Okay. Well, we'll chat more about that one too.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I just had one quick question on the copier. If your postage and stuff is going down to non-existent, how much are you still needing a copier of that size or that capability?
So with that copier, I still do use that for, I have two of them. One of them is for all of the cases for cremations and different things to make envelopes, but we only have those very, very rarely. And then I print out the Medicaid pricing for the jail. So I still do that. I print those out and send those back to them. And so that's something that we could explore if that's something. But I also know that with one of our copiers, there are times where, Nancy, I don't know if you use that one in our office, the big copy machine or
I
scanner.
use it as a scanner.
So one of them is used as a scanner that we oftentimes use for our record requests as well. So there are a couple different functions for those.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else? You have anything to say?
Just thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
It is much appreciated.
Thank you.
I've seen you twice in a day. I'll take it any day of the week.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Chantel.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, go ahead and put it. Gotta wait.